Hello and welcome to Cali Legends Media. I want to thank all the subscribers. If you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button down below. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like it, give it a thumbs down. Your opinion is very important. Also hit that notification bell. That way you'll be notified whenever a new videos drop. Okay, so getting right into this. Now, this video is basically gonna talk about something that Dubs put out. This is in no way to talk down on him or talk smack to him or about the work that he did on that video. He retracted that video. I think he even took it offline because he misspoke. He gave some information that wasn't correct in regards to who hit who. There was a hit on a northerner and a hit on a southerner, and I guess he kind of got mixed up on how it went. He got some bad information. There was some misunderstanding or something, but in any case, he went and he retracted what he said regarding that issue, and he pulled the video down. But the name of the video was important, and that was that he asked like a question: Are the homies being set up in these prison yards for failure, to go back to the hole, basically, to be able to put them back in a situation like they were before? He had mentioned, of course, that that'll never happen because the truth came out about when you treat human beings that way, what happens to some of them. Some of them lose their mind after 20, 30 years of this pretty much solitary confinement, because there's no windows in this place up in Pelican Bay where they used to keep these very high profile offenders, right? So after much deliberation in court, the men that were kept in this housing unit, who were noted to be the worst of the worst, the most dangerous and deadly inmates that had committed crimes within the CDC, they were released back into the MAINLINE. Now, were they set up for failure? I don't think necessarily they were in particular, but I strongly believe that CDC has their own agenda regarding if these inmates can successfully do their time in general population, because they're forcing them to do the time with inmates that were not tolerated back in the days, with inmates with bad charges who are sometimes put on the yard, inmates that they know for a fact are enemies of inmates that are already on the yard. They put them on there. I'm going to use the situation with the Bulldogs, for example. Everybody knows, even civilians know, that the Bulldogs, basically, they don't get along with the Southerners or the Northerners, right? But still, they put a group of them on a yard, I believe it was in Corcoran State Prison, where they were attacked and beaten, you know? And if you want to see that video, you can search it out. All you have to do is go to the search in your YouTube menu and search for Bulldogs attacked by Southern Raza, and the video, I'm sure, will pop out. You'll see a bunch of men. They're all dressed in red on the yard, and a few guys dressed in blue approach them, then take flight on them. Next thing you know, it looks like whoever was in the vicinity took flight, and basically they beat the brakes out of these guys, these Bulldogs. You know, some of them allegedly got stabbed, and well, you could see for yourself what happened. That was a straight setup for failure. You know, why would they do that to these guys, man? They knew what was going to happen. Not only did they know what was going to happen when they put them on the yard, they knew just before the yard jumped that this was going down. It was obvious. It was obvious just by the movement. I mean, people who work in prison, they could read a yard. People that are in prison doing time, they could read the yard. You can see when there's tension. You can see who's involved. It's very, very easy to recognize. And the people from CDC who were on the yard at that time could have very easily seen what was going on or was about to go on, and they could have put the yard down and did what they had to do. Okay, to prevent these guys from getting hurt the way they did. But that wasn't the only incident that took place. Throughout the time that these guys have been back on the main line, there's been a lot of things jumping off. You know, they put guys from the SNY yard on some of these active yards. They call them 50-50 yards, and I mean, even the families knew what time it was when that was happening, and they were in fear for the lives of their loved ones that were being treated this way and being put in this predicament. And people were hurt, you know. That guy Yogi, who did several years in the system. I don't know if you know who he is, but you could also Google that. Go to their search and Google Yogi gets killed by 2 inmates on the yard after years of solitary confinement. Anything to that effect will bring up the situation with Yogi. He was part of a black group. Although he didn't look black, he looked more Puerto Rican or Mexican. But anyways, they put him on one of these yards, and he got butchered. You know, they knew that was coming. They knew what was going to happen. So I think Dubs was right. If you read the thumbnail and you think about what that thumbnail says, he was on point. Dubs was on point with that, man. They're setting up the North and the South for failure. You know, they don't want this peace treaty to last. They want to show the politicians and the people who are in charge of making these decisions that it's not a wise thing to do, because people are getting killed. People are getting killed all the time on these yards. Look at what happened with this guy. It even disturbs me saying this dude's name, but this guy Snoop, you know. I'm not saying they set Snoop up, but they had to have known that the dude that Snoop recently allegedly unalived shouldn't have been on that yard. Yet they put the guy there. Snoop caught wind. He did what he felt needed to be done, and he unalived this guy. And you know, there's just like so many incidences where obviously CDC are setting up inmates to get whacked. They're setting up the homies and everybody, all the races, man, for failure. They don't want to see anything but things that benefit the prison system. There's other things that they can do to minimize the danger and the killings and the stabbings. They don't want to do that, and they're not doing it. What they're doing is they're making moves and shipping people around and getting them put in places where they're most definitely going to get dealt with, you know? And we don't hear about everything that takes place in prison. We get notified about stickings and people getting unalived, but a lot more people than we see on paper are getting hurt, you know, are getting unalived, are getting stepped. There's always, man, yards are going down constantly. People get drug off the yard, and nowadays they just resume program. Back in the days, if there was a sticking or something, especially if somebody was unalived, you most definitely went on lockdown for some period of time. Anyways, I think Dub had a good point with what he started off with, as far as are the inmates being put in a predicament and being set up for failure, so that they can be removed off the general population and treated a certain way. I think so. I believe so. It is what it is, you know. Things are bad in there right now. And, you know, you hear these stories about, well, I'm not going to get into it, man, because I really don't want to talk about the political side of things. But anyways, I just wanted to make this video. I know I shoot a lot at Dubs for different things since I started this channel. Not a lot of things, just a few things here and there. But I think he was dead on the money. What he started off to talk about. He may have been mistaken as far as who hit who and who was involved in which incident. But as far as what the thumbnail was and what he was trying to, the underlying topic, I think he was right on the money, man. And this is one time that I'm gonna agree with this man publicly. I don't want to hear that, oh, this guy's a dropout, he's no good, and he's no good on the YouTube yarda. There's no YouTube yarda. Cut it out already, you know. And we're not in prison. The vato, you know, he's trying to be a family man. You know, he says it himself. I'm just a square now, just living my life. You know, he's doing what he does. You know, doesn't make a difference. He don't affect me. He's on the other side. He lives so far away from me. I will probably never ever run into this guy, and that doesn't matter. He's a content creator. He creates content, and when I seen this content being created and what it was said, it caught my attention, because I have always agreed and thought that myself. You know, like there's definitely something going on to try to trip the homies up from succeeding. What do you expect? You know, this is prison are these guards' livelihood. This is how they take care of their family and stuff. They could care less about the people that are inside, you know, unless, you know, they're on the payroll, you know. But anyways, that's something else. But anyways, I'd appreciate it if you let me know what you thought in the comment section. If you think that that Dubs may have been onto something when he said that, you know, when he posted that video, the part regarding the homies being set up for failure, basically, and how CDC wouldn't like nothing more but to see them locked up somehow or reintroduced to some place just as bad, if not half as bad as where they were, you know. And that's the world that we live in. Anyways, thank you for watching this video. Really appreciate you, and I hope to see you on the next video. Stay strong, stay free, whatever it takes. You know, the last place you want to be is in prison, man, because it's on and cracking in there, like it hasn't been in a real long time. God bless you, and God bless your family. Thanks for watching.